Hey, Living with Better. Thank you for coming. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome. And I'm doing a test case. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Great. Thank you. And now I'm waiting for my screen to come up. And I'm going to give everybody a few minutes. And Living Better, I'm glad you're in because I was going to try something a little different today, and I do need a mod in here. Hey, Taylor, welcome. I see my screen is up. Thank you, Taylor, for coming. I'm going to give everybody about 5 minutes to come in so that I won't have to repeat. But I needed a mod in, so. This is some YouTube music playing in the background. All right, guys. I was trying to get some music. Thank you, Taylor. Thank you. Thank you, everyone, for coming. Hi, the Miss Yo-Yo Show. Welcome. Thank you. Thank you. I'm trying to get a little bit growner with my presentations. So how was everybody's day today? That's right. Level up. Level up. I need to turn my music on and get in my sunroom and hula hoop and dance to my level up song. That's right. Level up. The only way to go is up. In my book, I don't go down. It's always up. Living Better with South said, hello, beautiful, to the Miss Yo-Yo Show. Y'all, Living Better went live today. She did a shop with me, and she went to, let me see, Hobby Lobby and Ross. And so check her out. Check her out when you get a moment. Come in. I always forget to turn the volume down because I don't want to have the echo. So give them about 2 more minutes and then I will get started. I've got a whole lot to do today because on Wednesday I'm having a really cool Wellness Wednesday. I've got some panelists that's going to come up and talk about the different, they're going to talk about the different types of eating: keto, vegan, vegetarian, pescatarian, and regular old folks eating good old food. So I am looking for one other person that doesn't follow either of the known diets, such as the keto, vegan, vegetarian, or pescatarian. So if somebody eats that good old cooking that wants to come up on the panel, you are welcome to do so. It's just that we can all talk about the different plans of food. So I would love for you guys to be there. Hey, Tiffany, Chanel. Hey, honey. How you doing, sis? I checked out your community tab. Looking good, looking good. Waiting for you to come on at 9 o'clock. You know, I hate when, I don't like to use the word hate. I dislike the fact that when you guys put stuff on your page and I go into your community tabs or whatever, and I click the notification or to let you know that I've got the timer set, and I leave a nice little message, and then all of a sudden it disappears and you guys never see it. I'm like, oh no, they won't see that. I was in here first. I'm very competitive. I was here first. So it's that time, guys. It's 7:35 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So I'm going to go ahead and get started here. Tiffany, I saw that you had an occasion today that you went to. I hope everybody is fine. Everything went well, and my blessings to you and the family. Yeah, the messages disappear. You know, I always like to be the first one. They're on the move again. Yes, Lord. They move faster than I do. That's for sure. I wish I could move that fast. So, but anyway, we're going to get started. Hello, welcome everyone. Welcome to week 4. Can y'all believe it is week 4 of me doing the Mortgage Monday? I cannot believe it. So I wanted to get started and just let you guys know a couple of things before we get started, do some housekeeping here. And of course, I'll start with my disclaimer. And this is a mortgage presentation that will occur weekly. And I'm not going to read this word for word. I'm just going to sum it up for you. The notification will be provided if I decide that I cannot do the presentation on a certain Monday. I'll give you a notification in advance. I will try to do it more than 4 hours in advance. It just depends. I try to send them out on Sundays, but if something happens during the course of the day and I'm not feeling well or something happens, then I would have to change the time or the day. So I would always let you guys know something on my community tab. Also, this is to let you know that this is not a pre-approval, pre-qualification, or an approval. And I am licensed to speak to you guys about the mortgage industry. And hopefully you guys come with questions. So I'm not going to read this word for word, but it's here in the notes. If you go back and look at if you need me to go back, I'll go back. Or if you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer them for you. But it's plain and simple. Okay, so again, if you're new to my channel, I welcome you to the platform, and please give me at least 15 minutes of your time, and maybe you'll stay, and maybe I'm that great host that you'll love my presentation. So please don't forget to connect, like, share, and subscribe, and click the notification bell. Okay, so by popular demand, I'm going to call it popular demand because I've gotten a lot of information in my social media platform, from IG to Facebook to, of course, my videos, and then from viewers, that they want me to give them some more information about what we talked about in the previous 2 weeks. So I decided to go ahead and give you guys a recap. It'll be pretty brief, but I'm going to give you some information from previous 2 weeks. I'm not going to give you any information from week 3 because that was on Veterans Day, and I spoke about VA loans. But I am going to do a full video, a full live on a Mortgage Monday regarding the different types of loans. So you'll get more information on the VA loans at that time. It looks like my screen is not changing, and this is weird. So are my slides changing for you guys? There they are. Wow, this thing is so far behind. I cannot wait to get on my OBS because this is too slow. So I already said the disclaimer, and now I'm on my next page. So I apologize for this, but I'll hold it up for a few seconds in case anybody wants to look at it. So how are you guys doing today? Okay, thank you, Tiffany. Thank you so much for confirming. I appreciate you. Yeah, it's something like that. Yes, it's there. Okay. So thank you so much for confirming that. It should be on the next slide though, but it is going really slow. Very slow. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and go to the next slide. I'm going to start speaking about it. So the slide actually, I had to come up with some really cute ideas on the slide since I'm doing a recap. So what it says what you will need when applying for a mortgage. And as it was before, we talked about the things that you need before you apply for a mortgage, things that you'll need to keep. Hey, Jaden, how are you? Welcome. Hey guys, please give me a thumbs up if you're new to the chat. If you're in the chat, if you're in the woods, in the bushes, in the walls, wherever you are, I welcome you. And just please give me a thumbs up. And then please give me at least 15 minutes of your precious time if you cannot stay for the full video. I do appreciate it. Okay, yeah, this thing is really going slow. I do not know if it's actually my phone or if it's the slideshow. But anyway, I wanted to talk to you about the things that you will need prior to going for your loan. So you'll need to have upfront information for your lender. And I talked about this on week 1. We talked about the different trade lines, the credit history, new info that you needed for your loan officer. Now, there was one thing that I failed to mention, and I do apologize. They do now what they call a rapid score. So say, for instance, you had a collection item on your credit, and oh, there it is. It finally popped up on my phone. So if you have a collection item that you paid off or was disputed and found to be not yours, you would call your loan officer will have the ability to do what they call a rapid rescore. So what we would need to have is your documents showing that you've either paid it off or a letter from the lender or from the credit bureau that says this is not yours. Then we'll go in and do what they call a rapid rescore, and we can rescore your credit there on the spot, and then we can continue on with your financing and help you with a better rate. Because the whole idea about having the good credit is the interest rate. Now, they say that should not matter, but it does, because if you're doing a conventional loan, you're going to have some really awesome rates. But if you're having I wouldn't call it a not so good loan, because FHA is a great loan and so is a VA loan. But if you have, the rates are just different with those 3 types of loans. So if you are to Tiffany, Jaden said hello. So that's why it was so important for you to have good credit, because it does actually mesh with your interest rate. And you want to have the best rate when you're trying to purchase your home, because most people stay in their homes forever. Some people move every so many years, but you want to make sure you get the best rate when you're out shopping for your home. So Credit Boost was one thing that I spoke about. Experian will do that, but they use the actual scoring from your what are they called? Your electric company, your gas company, those type of things. So with that, they do the Credit Boost through Experian. But as a loan officer, we do. Hello, AKA James 615. Welcome. Thank you for coming. Please give me a thumbs up in the live. I appreciate you coming. If you guys have the ability to share me out, please share me out. It is much appreciated. So yes, so Experian will do those scoring for you, but you better make sure that if you are using Experian to reboost your score, make sure you pay those debt on time. Because if you don't pay your utility bill and things of that nature, you're going to end up with a rating on your credit because you've signed up for them to boost your credit. Also, like I said, the loan officer can do the same thing. You would just send them the documentation showing that debt has been paid off, or they can do what they call a build your credit. So we can take your pay history on your rent, get your canceled checks, your verification of rent from your landlord, and then we can build that on your credit report too. But please, again, make sure you have been paying those debt on time, because if you don't, oops, I paid it on the 29th, but it was after 5 o'clock and the lender had closed, that's going to go against you. So just please make sure you pay those on time. Okay, so the next thing we talked about is your job history and the documentations that are needed when applying for your credit, for your mortgage. Of course, we need your pay stubs, your W-2s, your tax returns. If you're self-employed, we need your tax returns along with your schedules and everything that you send in for your taxes. We need that so that we can actually get a good calculation of your income. so that we can make sure your debt to income ratios are in line. There is not a lender out there that will go off of just a first sheet of your tax returns. You have to have the entire thing. So just make sure that you have all those. These are things that you guys should keep without throwing them away. And when you do, when you've had them for a couple of years, the best thing and my suggestion is to shred them, because you want to keep security purposes. You want to shred those things so nobody can get your information. Okay. The next thing we talked about is reserves for your bank statement, your 401k, your canceled checks for your rent if it's not with a major rental company. Now, rent normally doesn't go on your credit until you do what? Go behind, skip out, don't pay. That's when it goes on your credit. So prior to that, rent offices do not report monthly. They will report if you have been delinquent and not paid within the 30-day time frame, or if you bail out and you skip out on, you break the lease. Those are the things that go to the credit bureau. For some reason or another, they don't send the good stuff. They only send the bad stuff, right? So that's what makes it such a challenge for the loan officers to go ahead and get the information and get it approved, because the rent offices don't report unless it's bad. Your private landlord doesn't report. The only thing you're going to see from your private landlord is if you bail out and don't pay and tear up his property, and guess what? You got a big fat judgment on your credit. So you also want to keep your cancel checks. You want to keep your bank statements. You want to be able to identify any strange things that's on your bank statement. When I say strange, to me, is if you got a $10,000 deposit into your bank account when all your other deposits are 200, 500, 1,000, your payroll deposit, and then all of a sudden I see a $5,000 deposit. We want to know where that deposit is from. So if that was something I've had people that have won the lottery and they say, oh, I won a scratch off. Well, you do know they do give you a receipt after you've made so much money. They do tax you after a certain amount. So we just need an explanation letter. We're not going to go too deep into a lottery winning, but we will ask that question. And there are ways that we can identify and verify those things. So people think that they can just get away with it, but it doesn't work that way. Also, you want to keep your social security card, your driver's license, your passport, and your current state ID. They all have to be current. Divorce decree, child support information, DD 214s for your VA loans. And from that point, we go ahead and do some calculations on your loan. So that was my recap. Hello there, Brandon, Brand, Realty TV. I need to have my glasses on this thicker because I can barely see that. But welcome. I appreciate you coming in. Please thumbs up the live. Give me at least 15 minutes to 20 minutes of your time. It's greatly appreciated. Hope my information is available to you, that's going to be worth it, and that you'll stick around for the whole presentation. Okay, so my next slide, when it finally comes up, it's talking about who are the people involved with your process when you're getting your loans. I didn't talk about this on the first slide, but it's going to be talked about today, because there's a lot of people that's involved with getting your loan done. It's not just your loan officer. And I wanted to go over these people with you. So you're going to have, to begin with, you're going to have your loan officer. And your loan officer is the one that's going to take your loan application. They're going to tell you about the different products. They're going to tell you what you need. Now, most loan officers, they go through some type of training, but not all loan officers have the best training. And on behalf of the mortgage industry, I apologize for that. Most loan officers are really good. I cannot judge them. I can only tell you by past experience what I've dealt with. You have loan officers, they're in sales, right? So when you're in sales, you are out there to make your money. And a lot of them, they want to try and get those loans done. They want to get the next loan done and done and done and done. And then they have their manager or their sales manager on their case. How many loans have you closed? Why this hasn't closed? Get this closed, get that closed. And they panic. They panic because most loan officers are 100% commission. They do not get paid if the loan doesn't close. Some of them work for companies, perhaps a bank, that will give them a cushion and say, we'll give you $2,000 a month until you get your profit set up, till you get all of your business, all your contacts, everything set up. We're going to give you a percentage, and it's normally like $2,000, but they're only doing that so that they can pay for your insurance. After that, they let you go and they say, hey, you either produce or you got to go. So when you get that kind of stress and pressure on you, loan officers begin to do some shady things. And I've seen it done. I've witnessed it. I've testified to it. I've seen the FBI, the GBI. In closing, I've known people to have been arrested, but they don't know how to take the pressure. And that's going to be another live that I will do, another Mortgage Monday. But they are under pressure, so they do what they can to get the loans done. So they'll talk and they'll hear somebody say, hey, I can make pay stubs up, or I can make W-2s up. That doesn't work. That doesn't work because they check everything. We check everything. And I would rather you not close a loan and tell your customer, let's work on your credit and get this done before we authorize you to do something illegal, because it's not worth going to jail. It is not. So that's your first point of contact. It's going to be your loan officer. And you would hope that if your loan officer doesn't have a program for you or cannot match your program to your need, that they would reach out to their sales manager or the underwriter. And I'm going to tell anybody that's thinking about going into the business, the first thing you should do is get goody friends with your underwriter, because your underwriter is going to tell you upfront, because she's not going to lose her licenses for nobody. She's going to help you match that program. Your sales manager may do it, but you have a lot of shady sales managers out there too. All they're about is the money. They really don't pay attention to the fact that their customers needs to be in a good way. So again, your loan officer is going to be first. And then your loan officer is going to do a loan application with you, and they're going to tell you all the things that they should have a checklist available to give to you at the time that they meet you. That checklist is going to consist of everything that I just talked about. We need your W-2s, your pay stubs, your bank statements, all pages, your 401k statement, your rent information. We need everything. And I'm going to show you guys a loan application on this live. I'm sorry. So that's the thing that our loan officer should have. He should have his business card. He should have his checklist for you. And then once he gives that to you, you get all that stuff ready and you give it back to, you don't give it back to your loan officer. It should go directly to his processor, because that cuts out the fact that the loan officer that's hungry to get something closed, he can't go in there and change your information. He won't even have your information, because for security purposes, your loan officer really should not have your information. Some of them do. Now, I was a loan officer and I processed my own deals. But again, I've got all the clearances that I can do those things. But I would get the information and I would send it they would send it into their processor to get it ready for underwriting. That processor is going to keep you updated, who's the next person in line. That processor, he and she is going to call you and say, hey, loan officer A, I got Mrs. B's information, and she didn't give me everything on the checklist, or she gave me everything, but we got a large deposit. So I've sent her a message and told her she needs to get me the letter of explanation. So you've got your processor there to protect you. Now, you have, after the processor has processed your loan fully. Now, people, this is where people get confused. Your loan officer will tell you, oh, I can get you closed in 5 days. If your loan officer doesn't have the rights to process your loan, underwrite your loan, close your loan, do the appraisal, do your title work, he or she cannot make that rule. Now, most lenders will say, we are getting a turnaround time of 3 days. We can get you your answer in 3 days. That's perfectly okay. Here's the problem. They can get you the answer, but it may not be an approval. It may be approved subject to conditions. And what is conditions? These are things that we need to solidify the things that you sent into us. That's why it's important that you tell your loan officer everything. you make sure everything is documented thoroughly, because as many times as the loan officer, I'm sorry, the underwriter has to go into your documents, he or she is going to find some additional things that they need. So that's why it's a good idea to have everything up front and ready to go. So you got your processor. And then once she processes everything, she says, okay, well, we've got everything ready to go. The only thing we need is the title, and we need an appraisal. So they're going to go ahead and order those things. And then if they get it back and if everything is clean, nothing, no liens, no judgments, no banged up property, no bashed out windows and things like that, she says, oh, this is ready to go to the underwriter. Then it goes to the underwriter. Once it goes to the underwriter, she underwrites the file, he or she underwrites it and says, okay, well, client B has excellent credit. I want to give her this approval, but I saw this large deposit in her bank account. Or on her pay stub, it says every week she pays ABC Company $150 of her pay. That means that the customer didn't disclose to the loan officer that, yeah, I borrowed money from my job and I'm paying them back. Or I have owed somebody some money and they have garnished my wages. So you have to speak out and you have to tell them everything, because it is going to come up. So once it goes through underwriting and she gives it the approval, she's done the title, she's looked at the appraisal, she's checked all your documents, she's ready to give you a full approval. She gives you the full approval, and then the loan officer gets a notification. Hey, your customer's loan is fully approved. Now you need to schedule your closing. That's the next person you're going to be in touch with. It's going to be your closer. Your closer has to look at your file. She has to make sure everything is okay. And she has to send all your documentation over to the closing attorney. That closing attorney is going to do their work, and they're going to say, well, we got this, 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 and this, but here's our fees. And if those fees are different than what was disclosed at the initial time of application on the good faith estimate, that loan has to be re-documented, and we have to send out disclosures, new disclosures to the customer. And it has to go back to the underwriter. So it's not that quick that you can get those loans closed. And that's the problem that most loan officers have when they're dealing with their customers. They give them false hope. So then the loan officer has the real estate agent fussing at them. Then they have the customer thinking that they're getting ready to close, and they're not. And the customer has given their notice to the landlord that they're going to be out. And you don't know how many people I've had that gone through this, and they have got the moving truck in their yard and they cannot close their loan because the loan officer has given them false hope. So then you go through the closer gets it all cleared up, and the package goes up to the closing attorney. The closing attorney gets it ready, and the closing attorney says, well, we're backed up today. We can't get the loan closed, but we can close it on another day. So they have to reschedule your closing. So guess what? Your customer thinks they're closing again. So we have to be realistic. We have to be really, really sure that loan is going to close, because you don't want to get a bad name from your customer. Your customer gets mad and they'll tell you, she told me my loan was going to close. That customer is not going to tell you all the good things you did. They're only going to remember that one bad thing. So to protect your name, your brand, and getting referrals from your customers, please, please, please do not give your customer false hope. Does anybody have any questions so far? Am I talking, or can you guys hear me? Hey, Candy C, welcome. How are you? Thank you for coming, dear. Okay, so I wanted to talk to you guys about security. And as soon as the slide comes up, you'll see. Now, as a loan officer, or as anybody in the business, or anybody, period, should take security of your personal information hand in hand. They should have it on lockdown. So when that picture on the first slide had the picture of the nice clean desk, that's an example of how my desk always was. When I left my office, everything was locked up, put away. The computer system was locked down. Sorry, that's my computer. Nothing was showing or left out for people to for people to actually get in and destroy a customer's credit. So I decided to show you guys that at the end of the day, what my computer looks like, but for some reason or another, this thing is taking forever to come up. So hopefully you guys will see it while I'm talking. So yes, security is very important because you don't want to ruin your customer's credit. You don't want the FBI or the GBI to come in and you see all your desk is unlocked, your computers, everybody's information is open, and it's not a good thing. It's not a good thing to have um, the Department of Mortgage and Law Association to come in for you to say, hey, you're leaving your computer open and people can get to you. So I definitely recommend that you interview your loan officer very, very well, because a loan officer, again, they're salespeople and they are out to get their items, their loans closed. That's their biggest thing. They got to close loans. They got to feed their family. They got to take care of their debt, but they don't want to put in the hard work to get it done. And that's the biggest problem that I had with loan officers in the past. So since this thing is moving so slow, I have no idea why it's moving so slow. But anyway, I talked about security. So I'm going to go ahead and talk about the next thing that we need to talk about. But I'm trying to wait for the slide to come up. Does anybody have any questions? Does anybody have any experience that they dealt with that they want to talk about? And I'm trying to give it a few minutes because this thing is moving pretty slow. See, now it's finally coming up. And it's time for me to go to the next slide. But that is a picture of my actual desk when I worked at the bank. You could not tell that I actually even worked there. I left my desk like this every day. Every day. All my voicemails were checked. All my emails were answered to. I need a 101. You need a 101? The Yo-Yo Show? Are you speaking about me or somebody else? You need a 101. I could use 101. I sure would. Have no problem. You know my information on the IG. I'll send you my phone number if you need it. So, but yes, that's how I left my desk every day before I left the office. And when I come in, I got a fresh start. I did not, we were paperless, and I refused to have paperwork in my on my desk, period. I don't like paper. I don't like post-it notes. I was very thorough with the computer system. I just did not like papers. I didn't like paper at all. Hey, Candace C, Candace C. Living Better says hello. Everybody's reaching out to you, Candace C, saying hello. I saw your pedicure. I need one. Tell the girls, come on over here. Okay, so we talked about security, but why is it so detailed? Why do they need all these things? Well, as I said before in the past, if you are giving somebody 100, I'm telling you the truth. If I'm giving you $5,000, if I'm giving you $1,000, I want to know how I'm gonna get my money back, especially if you say loan me the money. So with that being said, that's hey Bunny Rose, welcome. Thank you for joining. How are you? I'm doing well. Thank you for joining. Good to see you. So again, if I have given somebody money, I want to know how I'm gonna get my money back. Now, let me rephrase it, not give. If I have loaned somebody money that said they're gonna pay it back, I want to know how I'm gonna get it back. So that is why they ask for so much information in the mortgage industry or anytime you're dealing with finances. They want to know how they're gonna get their money back. So that's why they're so detailed. That's why they don't want a reason for anybody to come back and say, I told them that this was the answer and they didn't pay me back. And then they go to court and then they tell the judge or the attorney or whomever, no, they didn't ask me that. If they'd asked me, they would have known. Yeah, that has happened. I had a loan my last year at the bank. The lady's loan was never recorded. The deed was never recorded. and she kept getting information saying her loan was paid off. She had a $475,000 loan. And guess what? The bank could not collect on it because they sent her a satisfied deed. So that lady got a $475,000 home for free because the bank made so many errors. Thank God that was not on my dime. That was not in my not on my team, but I happened to be on another team helping somebody with their file. And I came across the customer and I called the customer to ask them for some information. And she actually disclosed to me, I'm not paying y'all anything because y'all gave me my deed back. And I was like, well, I never knew this. That was not my customer. So I had to go and pull all the paperwork, and there you go. In the file was her satisfied deed. The bank made an error and satisfied her deed. She got away with a $400,000 home. And I washed my hands of that file. I ran away from that file as quickly as I could. I said, I had nothing to do with this file. I was helping somebody else out. This is not my customer. And the bank tried to pursue it and it went to court. And as a matter of fact, the customer was in Texas. Yes, she was in Dallas. She got her a nice house. And she said she will never sell that house. Because you know what the bank did? They went and put a lien on the house, a mechanic's lien, which meant that if she sold it, they would have to give her the money. So that's why they're very detailed about the loans, because they want to make sure that they have covered everything. I am a first homeowner and I'm trying to learn new things. Awesome, Bunny Rose. Awesome. Hey, I'm here to help you. I have my license and everything on inactive, but I can pull them back. But for the most part, I'm here to help people. I have questions I can answer your questions. I do not interfere with another loan officer or a mortgage company that's working with you. But if you've already closed your loan and you have questions, you can feel free to contact me on my Instagram and I'd be happy to help you. I will be happy to help you. And I'm so happy that you came in to see me today. I would be happy to help you though. Okay, so the next slide, when it finally comes up, I'm just going to talk to you about the mortgage loan application. And you'll see all of the things. And most of you, if you have purchased a home, these things will look, you're very welcome. You are most welcome. You have seen this document. I don't know how many homeowners do we have, and it's your personal business. You don't have to tell me. But if you feel comfortable with saying, if you have purchased a home or refinanced a loan, if you can just give me a pink heart or a red heart or a heart, any kind of heart. I just want to know what type of crowd I'm dealing with as far as the mortgage is concerned. Because if I'm dealing with a bunch of people that have purchased homes and they're like maybe ready to refinance and things like that, I can change up my actual mortgage Mondays. But for that reason, mortgage applications are very detailed. And it doesn't take the loan officer long to go through what they need to get from the cut. It's really actually plain and simple. If they fill out the information correctly, then your loan should go through without a problem. Bonnie Rose, can I ask you a question? You said you are a first-time home buyer, uh, a homeowner, sorry. How was your process? Did it go smooth? You need repair. Okay, well, that's no problem. That's no problem. I can assist you with that too. I was just trying to find out so your process went smooth. Great. So that meant you had a good loan officer. Was it a loan officer through a bank or through a broker, or did they tell you? Because normally they're supposed to tell you if they're a bank or a broker. You think it was a broker? Okay, that's a good thing. And I will tell you, I spoke about that previously, but that's good that you have a broker because that meant that they will only pull your credit one time. And it's good for 120 days. So that was a good thing. So I'm waiting for this link to come up with the picture of the loan application so that you guys that have not purchased the loan will see this loan application and how thorough it is. But it's taking forever for my links to come up. So it's very, very clear. Let's see. Hey, Miss Tawana, how are you? Welcome. Thank you for coming. I am retired from the business, but my license, I keep it on inactive and I come on and off because I have to go every year to take my continuing education classes. So yes, I am a loan officer. Did you have some questions? I've been in this industry for 32 years. And there has been a lot to change. That's why I do my continuing education every year, just so that I can keep myself up to date. Stefan, I met you when Logic was on the panel. No, I have over 25 years experience. Okay, awesome. Awesome sauce. So then you know all about this too. Now, are you a broker or are you a from the banking side, retail? Now the pages are coming up there. There we go. So that's the mortgage, the uniform residential loan application. Loan officers, people in the business call them the loan app. But you see how detailed, can you guys see that clearly? You see how detailed it is? It's asking, it's step by step. And if you fill in all of the spots that are applicable to the transaction, you shouldn't have any problems with your loan being approved. Let's see. Yes, see it. Both processing and underwriting. I had a license up long ago. Yeah, I've done that off and on. I started out, Miss Tawana, I started out working for the Federal Reserve, and then I went over to collections, then to customer service, then to escrow analysis, then over to shipping post closing, to funding, to processing, to team captain, to loan officer, to underwriting, then loan officer, then out to account executive, and then back to loan officer. So I'm back and back and back. Okay. Clear for the most part, but smaller words, a little blurred, but it could be my age. No, bitch is mine, my age. I tried to get a clear copy of it, but it's just so hard to do a clear one. Then, of course, I have to black out some of the information because I don't want to give anybody's information. But one of my friends actually sent me a copy of the residential loan application. I've been with brokers, banks, and credit unions. Yep, that's awesome. The only one I did not try was the credit union. Credit union is different. I don't have anything bad to say about it because I love my credit union, but yeah, credit union was the only one that I did not. They tried to grab me in 2013, but I just couldn't do it. I was burnt out. I had to go. How can I get money for repairs on my home? That's going to be a 203K loan, Bonnie. And if you want to, I teach finance and literacy. And you know what? Tawana, we need to do something because I'm actually doing something every Monday, and I would love for you to come up on the panel if you want to talk or if you want to do something together. That's you're more than welcome to do so. But I also wanted to talk about the different types of the oh gosh, what is it called? Like the VOE and just telling them what the terms because you'll get a loan officer say, I got your VOE back or I got your VOD back, and the customers are like, what the heck is that? So yes, I would love to talk to you. And if you like, I could put my information in the chat for my IG if you're interested. Now, Bonnie Rose, I'm going to put my information in the for IG. Are you on IG? So to keep moving, guys, so these are the things that you will see on here on the loan application. These are the information that, of course, apparently you wouldn't know what loan amount you're going for because they've had to do your debt to income ratios. You wouldn't know the rates because the rates are done daily. But once you do get your rates, they lock it in for a certain term. And that's another live that I will do is talking about rates. You got the terms of your mortgage, which that's going to either be a 30, 15, 10, and you'll have a fixed or adjustable rate. So they're different. There used to be a 7. Okay, I'll put it out there for you, Bunny Rose and Miss Tawana. So yes, there used to be a 7-year loan too. And there are a few lenders like the small towns, they'll do a 7-year loan for a mortgage. Let me put that out for you. Yeah. Give me a second, guys. I'm gonna put my IG out here. Because it's a long one. I have to tell you the story that my IG account is a long number. Long one. It's long because I'm an ambassador for the multiple sclerosis, and I have to keep that one on there. But also, I have to. I'm at battle with somebody for my Eat to Live Strong. I'm licensed for Eat to Live Strong, and this person has been using my name, my brand. So I've got to go take that one to court. Okay, so it's Art the MS Spider underscore. Okay, so that's my IG. It's exactly how it's there. Art the MS Spider underscore Eat to Live Strong. I had to put that there for the sake of YouTube. If people were trying to reach out to me, they wouldn't know it was me with just Art the MS Spider. Okay, Miss Rucker says, remember when you refinanced our home to lower our mortgage, we learned a lot from that experience with great results. Oh, thank you. I'm so glad that you guys, I did a good job. I tried to do really good. Yeah, you guys were a pleasure to work with. You were an absolute pleasure to work with you guys. And I love to see my actual people come back to me. The referrals, it's just wonderful. And it's just like when I'm not doing the business, I get more and more and more and more referrals. So that's why I try to reach out and train more loan officers so that if someone comes back, I try to do it for my family members. So if somebody comes back and wants to refinance or wants to buy a house, they can go to I can refer them to my family. But I don't refer people if they're not on their job because that's my word that I've given. So I'm very, very thorough about that. You're welcome. You're welcome. It was true. It was true. You guys were such a wonderful family to work with. Okay, so since this application is bouncing all over the place, but they ask you for these things because they do they need to know everything that they can without having to dig deeper and deeper into your file. But I don't blame them because again, if that loan amount there said anything over 1,000, I want to know where my money's coming back, how it's going to come back. So they put all this information here. And the loan application is 4 pages. Sometimes I will get a loan officer that will do a horrible job. I will get it back, and some of the stuff will be missing off of it. Um, Something as simple as if the person is married. I'm like, what part of this application do you not see? These questions are here for a reason, and they just will not do the right thing. I mean, everything is on here for a reason. About your employment, you have to have 2 years of employment history. If you don't have 2 years, then you know to get the next year, and so on and so forth. If you've had 10 jobs, you better put 10 jobs in the last 2 years on this application. Loan officers, a lot of times they don't want to do it because they do not want to deal with they don't want to deal with the extra work that's involved with it. But that's not work for them. If they give the customer the checklist and be very adamant and thorough with the customer and be honest with the customer will get the information to them. A lot of loan officers are afraid to ask their customers for things. Like if a processor, if I'm an underwriter and I send some stuff back to the processor, she calls the loan officer and say, hey, the underwriter sent the file back and she said she needs to see an extra $500 in income or $500 in reserves. And that loan officer would be afraid to call the customer and tell them. They would do some of the weirdest things. So I'm like, this is not how you do your business. So I'm going to come off of this because I see that some of the information is just not coming up. We're going to go back to the slide. So did anybody have any questions concerning the loan application? I mean, it's pretty much plain and simple. Not calling anybody simple, but it's to the point, you know. It's, you know, name, address, phone number, bank account, how long you've been working there, social security number. If it's have you had a house before? If it's up for sale, or if you're keeping it for rental. I mean, it's detailed enough for nothing to slip up. And a lot of people, I promise you, will not fill out that loan application. And when I was processing, that would be my biggest fight with a loan officer. And then they'll give you the file and they'll say, well, just call the customer. No, you're getting paid the big money. Loan officers make good money. Loan officers make good money. Processors make good money, but not as much as a loan officer. And that loan officer will throw so much off on that processor. I would feel so sorry for the processor. Like, you need to sit down with your loan officer, with your LO, and you give him the rules and regulations of how you process your loan, how you process it, tell them what you expect out of them, and tell them that you want to have a meeting with them every whatever day you want to pick. The loan officers can be messy. And I'm so happy and proud of myself for being that thorough person to make sure that my customers would come back to me and would not have a problem. Because I'm telling you, good news don't go as far as bad news. And if you're in that business and you got a bad rap, not good for you. Thank you, Living Better. That is so right. If you are not up to par with it, you will. It's not a good sign. You cannot get your business done that way. Does anybody have any questions so far before I move on to the next one and before the slide picks up the next one? Thank you, Candy C. Thank you. I just saw your message. Thank you, dear. I appreciate you. Hugs and kisses to my little nieces. You're welcome, Bunny Rose. I saw your thank you. This thing is taking forever. I've got to figure out a way to get this one to move fast because I don't like. I'm Johnny on the spot. I move fast, and something that slows me down. I cannot do that. Cannot. Okay, so you asked, what do we have to offer? Now, on that application that I just left, it had different terms and things of that nature, and I've actually already spoke of one of the terms, but it is if it's a bank versus a broker, we have to offer rates, and if you are with a company that has great rates, or if you're with, if it's a good time of the year that the rates are good, we have the ability to offer you good rates. Good, first and foremost, it should be what you have to offer, great service. If a customer asks me what do I have to offer them, my first question is good service, great service, awesome service, service beyond measures. Because as a loan officer and especially as a account executive, when I would go to visit my brokers as an account executive, I would go to their office. I would spend time in their office. I would pre-underwrite files. I would help them package up their loans, and they could call me if they call me and say, "Can you call me back?" I tell them yes. You guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to call them before I shut my phone down for the day. I'm going to, even if I call them and say, I don't have an answer for you yet, it's still with the underwriter, but as soon as it come out, I'll give you a call back. Or if a customer call and say, hey, did you get my 300-page paper that I faxed? Because back then, paper was prevalent. People was faxing me paper. I had so much paper that I was using when I was in a loan officer stage back in the day. Oh my goodness, those packages were thick. I had courier service picking up packages. So if I tell them I'm going to call them, you better believe I'm going to call my customers back. I am true to my word when it comes to my service. And if out of everything that the customer will say about me, the first thing they say is that she calls back, because customers want to know what's going on with their file. So if you're handling the customer's file and the customer is on the weekend and they don't know what the heck is going on and it's my loan closing, hey, Wilson, for real, welcome. Thank you so much for coming in. So if you, at the end of the day, if it's the weekend and you don't know if your loan is closing or if the loan officer got your paperwork, that is something that they will never, ever, ever say about me. I return all my phone calls. If I tell you I'm going to do something, I do it. I do it, no matter what it is. If I don't like it, I'm going to do it because I told you I'm going to do it. So that's that's the first thing you want to find out from your loan officer. If they are true to their word, you want to ask them, what do you have to offer me? You want to tell them good service, great service, awesome service. You want to even be able to tell them, here's my list of references. Here's my people that I've closed on their loans, and here's what they said about me, without showing the customer's information. And some customers will sign a disclosure and say, yes, you can tell people that I did your loan and blah, 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 blah. You just have to be careful with it, not showing their address and their social and all that other stuff. But you have to tell them your rates that you have to offer for them. You want to tell them that if I'm a broker, we pull your credit one time, and it's good for 120 days unless you are doing a construction lending loan, and that goes to 180 days. So that means that once I pull your credit and ding your score that one time, your score will not be hit again. Because as brokers, we do what they call automated system. So we run everything through Fannie Mae or Freddie Mac. We do the LP or the DU services, which they take your credit report. It is meshed into the system. So you only pull that credit one time. That was always a problem that I felt was bad, is that people's credit was being pulled multiple times. Now, you do have some lenders that will pull that credit again, but they do what they call a soft pull. And if that credit score is getting close to the cutoff, they may pull it again at that point. But if you have a loan officer that's Johnny on the spot with their loans and ready to get them done, they're not going to hold that loan application for 120 days or 180 days. They're going to do their job so they can get that loan closed and not have to worry, especially when you got a customer's credit score that is sketchy. If you got a customer that's on that map that is at 680 or 520 or 580 or whatever score they are dealing with, that score that's going to take them to the next tier of their rate, that loan officer is not going to play around with that loan. Now, as a broker, me personally, especially back when it was hard to get the loans done, I would send my loans out to 7 different lenders. And my motto was, whoever give me the approval first gets the loan. And that's what I did. So when I send it in, I say, hey, whoever get it done first gets the loan. So when the approvals come in, my loan's closed. And because I was an underwriter, I didn't have to worry about the underwriter coming back with conditions. And the one time I had an underwriter that came back with a condition, he must have fell asleep at his job because the item he wanted was in the file. Do you know? I called that account executive and said, you need to clear this up because I've never sent you a loan that come back with conditions. I take that very seriously. I am really picky about them coming back saying that I had conditions. I don't play that. I have those eyes. I have that knowledge. I don't do that. So when I tell a customer their loan is going to be approved, you better believe their loan is approved. Their loan is approved. So back to it, I offer them the good, the one-time pulling of the credit. I offer them pre-qualifications, and there is a difference between a pre-qualification, and a pre-approval. But even though you have those it says pre, because once it gets to the underwriter, things could change. It can no longer be a pre-approval or a pre-qualification. It could be a decline, or it can go, it depends on how good that loan officer is getting that document in and making that work before they send out those documents. I offer the customer good realtors because I have a referral. But if you guys only saw how many realtors and loan officers I have their cards, and if I have a loan officer that is changing their number every month or so, I can't deal with them. Because if I need somebody right away, I need somebody right away. So if you call, if Bunny Rose call and say, hey, I need a loan officer to do my 203K, if I got a loan officer that changed their number all the time, guess what? I will not be referring them out. Because if my customer calls them on a Saturday and leave a message, and then on Monday, their number has changed, that doesn't look good. If you're in this business, you got to be professional. And that's the one thing I tell people to look out for, professionalism when you're dealing with this business. Because it has been so many ups and downs in every so many years. And Ms. Tawana could probably confirm this for me. Every so many years, you're going to have a refinance boom, and you're going to have a mortgage crisis. And this has been going on long before I became a loan officer in the business. It has been that way since day one. So you also could offer the customers, you can offer them your cash out refinances, your equity lines, your 30, 20, 15, 10-year mortgages, FHA, VA, conventional, different types of programs that the company you deal with have. Okay, Gabe, give the girls hugs from us. Oh, Candy C. Okay. So yes, different types of programs that we have available. We have, if your company does the construction lending, or if your branch does the 203K, if your branch does HUD homes, if your branch, you offer whatever you have available for you. The more you have, but please make sure that you are very fluent in those items. And I'm not talking to you guys, but make sure that your loan officer is very fluent in knowing these things, because you don't want to get a loan officer who can tell you they can do something and they cannot. So you just want to make sure that their package is good. Because remember, again, loan officers are salespeople and they're licensed. So they have their managers on them about volume, volume, volume. So that's what you need to make sure that you have when you're dealing with your loan officers. And I'm telling you these things, guys, because I want you guys to be able to make sure that you're dealing with the right type of loan officer, and that you're going to get what you need, what you were looking for in getting yourself in a home with a good rate. So the next slide still hasn't come up yet, but it was talking about the terms, and I've disclosed the terms to you guys, whether it's a 30-year mortgage or a 15-year mortgage or a 10-year mortgage or a 7-year mortgage. I don't think they do them in the big businesses anymore, but they will do them, I think, at the smaller banks, like in the little small towns. Now, I will tell you another note about your mortgage terms. Now, a lot of people don't know, and this is going to be another part of the Mortgage Mondays that I will speak to you about, but when you're coming to finding out how quickly you're going to pay off your note, because you sign these documents at closing, right? And it tells you got a 30-year loan. You do know that if you pay extra money, you will pay it off sooner. So you will pay it off sooner. I don't know why this person calls me every Monday at the same time when I'm doing my live. And she's calling again. Oh my goodness. So anyway, sorry guys. Um, you will have your terms. You can pay off your mortgage sooner than your 30 years. And it depends on the type of loan you have. Make sure, I don't know of any loans right now. They are slowly coming back, and I'm dreading this, but they are coming back showing that they have prepayment penalties. And there are some of those loans that you have the no doc loans where you don't have to have any documentation. You just have a really high credit score. So I'm hoping those don't come back because that was the reason why we had the last mortgage crisis. So, but you can pay off your mortgages sooner. Um, I would tell people one way of doing it. Well, first thing you need to do is get your amortization schedule. Your AM schedule is going to tell you, and you can call your lender and say, "Hey, I want an amortization schedule, and I'm going to pay $100 a month extra towards my mortgage." And it'll show you your progress and how you can pay off that mortgage and the terms how it will affect. But your term will still be 30 years. Your term of your mortgage and your rate, if it's fixed, will never change. The only way it will change is if you refinance. So if you purchased a home, you got a 30-year note with a 4% interest rate, the only way that's going to change is if you refinance your mortgage or if you do a modification. So you definitely will have the same terms if you're signing at closing on a fixed rate or in a 30-year mortgage. But what you can do, and I would tell my customers this all the time, if you want to take that loan and pay it off sooner, if you pay one extra mortgage payment per year, use your tax refund or the bonus or whatever, if you pay one extra payment per year, you will knock down years on your note. You will knock down years, but you have to be consistent with it. And that is my recommendation. But you can also, if you have a 15-year note, just so you know, a 15-year note, you will pay off that mortgage. You'll start seeing more of your principal being paid on a 15-year note. And that's what I finally did. I did a 15-year note. It was a struggle. I'm not going to tell a story because as a self-employed loan officer and my husband was a real estate agent, yeah. When it's good, it's great. But when it's bad, it is horrible. So save your money. But if you're doing a 15-year term, you're going to pay that off quick. You're going to see your principal going down. Anybody have any questions? I'm sorry, I'm just talking. Anybody have any questions regarding the terms of the mortgage or the rates? I cannot disclose rates to you, but I can tell you that the rates change. Each lender has a different rate, but it changes daily. Sometimes more than once a day. I remember when 9/11 came. That interest rate was, and back then we were getting the rates back then. That rate changed. It seems like 50 times within an hour. That was the scariest market that I had ever been in. And I was like, when I first heard the facts go off, and then I got the notification that came back to back to back, I hurried up. Thank you, Wilson, for real. Thank you so much. I hurried up and started locking in my customers' loans because I didn't want them to miss the rate. I didn't lock in loans in the beginning because I wanted to make sure that the customer was going to get the best rate and that the loan was going to be quick and ready to close. But when that market started changing, I started locking in my loans quick because it went from, I think at that time it was 5% to like 8% quick. And I was like, oh my God, I haven't seen this rate since the late 80s. It was horrible. But yes, your terms are, it's going to be fixed unless you have an adjustable rate. And we will talk about the different types of rates in the loans. But I will not and I cannot discuss the rates of each day because I don't get the rates because, again, I'm inactive. So the last sketch that I'm going to show you, the last drawing here, I wish I could draw like this. But anyway, other than the terms, you're going to have questions all the way to the end of your loan process. And if you have a great loan officer, they will keep you. Yep, professionalism is key. I'm sorry, Tiffany, I just saw that. I'm so sorry. You're correct. Professionalism is key. It speaks volume. If you are professional, your demeanor speaks volume. If you say you're going to do something, you doggone well better do it, because you do not want your name to be smashed in the market, because it only takes one person to say something bad, especially now with social media. OMG. You better make sure you follow the rules, because if you don't, you are in big trouble. You might as well hang your coat up and get another career. I don't think my whole entire time that I've been in the business, I think I may have had one person that wasn't satisfied with my service. And that was because she was not happy with the fact that I was asking her for things. Can I just add a little more of my mortgage payment each month? You sure can, as long as you put it on your coupon, or if they send in your coupon, as long as you designate to the lender, to your lender, that you are paying that extra money towards your mortgage. Because if you don't tell them that, they're going to do one of two things. They're going to return it to you, or they're going to put it in what they call an unapplied account, and they're going to get interest off your money. They say they don't, but they do. Been in the customer service realm, I know. So if you're going to send it, make sure you tell them that it is for to be applied towards your principal balance. And that is good if you can do that. Also, if you do a refinance, you have your first payment is not due for 45 days, because they have to pay off your old loan. Then they have to get the escrow refunded to you. And then they have to set up your new escrow account. They have to send out your new coupons. It's like a handle with this thing. It's like transaction after transaction. And it's not due for 45 days. So with that being said, I used to tell my customers when I refinance, go ahead and make that first payment. Don't wait that 45 days, because guess what? You're going to be ahead. And then when your next one is due, you're already 1 month ahead. You shouldn't have to worry about when my next payment is going to be on time, because you already paid it. You're ahead. And the more you pay, and the sooner you pay it, the less interest you are paying, the less finance you're paying back to the lender. So if your payment is due on the first, my grandfather paid everything before it was due. And his payoff balance was phenomenal, because he paid everything at least 7 days in advance. So yes, you definitely can pay extra on your mortgage each month. Now, if you have a set amount, it is a good idea for you to get an amortization schedule and tell them, I'm going to pay this amount of money every month. How fast will I pay off my mortgage? And they can run the AM schedule for you, and they will either email it or mail it to you. But that's a great idea. And Bunny Rose, you're probably one of my customers you are one of my customers I would love to have. Because customers, some of them don't listen when you try to tell them, and then when it's too late, they're like, "Oh yeah, I'm about to lose my house. Too late. You should have listened to what I told you." So, but the next thing you want to know is this over yet? Yeah. When is this over? When you're doing your mortgage, when you're doing your financing, whether it's a refinance or a purchase, you want to know when it's going to be over. So I thought this was a nice one to do, because you got on one end you got the closing attorney, on the other end you have me in the blue, the loan officer, because I went to every one of my closings. Then you got the real estate agent on the side of the table with the customer, and then you got the two customers, right? Just finished playing baseball, getting girls straight. That's it. Oh, that was for Tiffany. Okay. So yes, that was me. I went to every one of my loan closings, every one of them. And you know what? I used certain attorneys that I would do my closings with. And some of them would come in the closing and they were like, "Are you finished?" Because I would tell my customers every document that they're going to sign. The attorney didn't have to do nothing but say, sign here, date here, date here. Where's your social security card? Oh, your loan officer already got it. Where's this? Where's that? This is the amount of money you have to come to closing with. They got the money already. Certified funds is here. Here you go. I was that loan officer who went to every one of my loan closings. And I have been in a closing before with a realtor that did not do what he was supposed to do and got mad because my customer ended up having to come to closing with $500 more. And the real estate agent tried to get snippy with me and said, "Well, why are they having it with extra $500? You didn't know this was right?" Yes, I did know it was right, but I'm going to tell you what you didn't do. You didn't give us a copy of the earnest money check for $500. So we could not give them credit for the earnest money check. Where's their earnest money check? The realtor had not even turned in the earnest money check. We don't even know at this point if the contract is valid because he never turned in what he was supposed to. So that's another topic I'm going to talk to you guys about, the realtors too. But the attorney just stood back like the little man in the blue. He stood back and he's like, whoa, this loan officer is taking over the closing. And that is me holding my hand up to the that was me so well. But yes, I'm at the table with my customers. And most loan officers do, but most of them come because they want to get their check. Because at the closing, they get the check. If it's a purchase, you get your check right then and there. Well, you get the check to take back to your broker or to your office so that they can cut your check. So with me being on the broker side, being the broker, I would get my check and good to go. But yes, they should come to their closings because the customers are going to be a little nervous. They're buying their first home, and if something comes up where you told me I had to come to closing with $100, why am I coming with $300? That loan officer should be able to stand there and tell that customer what happened. So that's basically so that's it's but even after that, it's not over because guess what? Even though your loan is closed, you've gone home, you got the keys to get in your house, and the attorney has signed off everything, and then all of a sudden you get a phone call from the mortgage company. And they say, hey, Miss Customer, we see that you didn't sign this documentation, or a better one. People think just because their loan has been cleared to close and they think they're good to go, had a customer, promise you this. That's why I can tell y'all some stories about my life in the mortgage history business. I had a customer, got the loan, quit a job the day of the closing, quit her job. Guess what? When that loan comes back for them to do shipping and post closing, they verify that again. But before it goes to the closing table, they verify your mortgage. They verify your job. They verify your bank information. They verify everything. They do the checks and balances. They check everything again. They want to make sure that they're giving you this $150,000. They're going to get their money back, right? So been there, done that. Saw that the customer quit their job the day of the closing. Now, we closed the loan at 12 o'clock. The customer quit her job at 11:45. She quit her job. She quit her job. So we had to recall that loan. Of course, I had to go off on the customer and say, why in the bleep, 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 did you quit your job? Why? So she lost her earnest money. She lost her appraisal money. She lost her broker fee because we charged a broker fee for credit and all that other good stuff. She lost all of that. And the real estate agent took her to court. So things can happen. It may not be as major as that. It could be where you forgot to sign a document that you got to get back to the attorney and sign, and your license didn't come through clear and you have to go back. So things are not always over until you get that first payment in, and then sometimes it will change then. How many of you guys know that your loan can be sold once you close your loan? Your loan, there's a document that you sign that's called a transfer of service. Your loan can and possibly will be sold. My loan, when I first bought my house, my loan sold 4 times before I made my first payment. 4 times. 4 times. Not one time, not two, 4 times. So that can happen. Just be aware that when you get documents from your mortgage company, whether it's email, snail mail, or phone call. Now, phone calls I'm a little leery about because you cannot verify it. But if it's a mortgage company that sends you something in the mail or an email, then I would definitely check that. Mine sold twice already. Yeah, it will. And you know what? Right before I paid mine off, it sold. I was like, why are you selling it? I only have 2 payments left and I'm getting ready to pay it off in full now. They had already sold it. They do because they make money by selling your loans. Yes, Living Better, they do. They sell it. Yep, Bunny Rose, they do because they make money off of selling, and they sell them in bulk. So whereas you started out with Bank of Westchester, you may end up with Bank of Northchester, and then that bank may say, okay, we're going to keep it. And a lot of them sell off just the servicing part, and you have them still as your lender. So yes, they will do that. That's how they make their money. So guys, I think that was the end of my presentation. But it's one more slide, and then I know that for sure we're going to rate my girl Tiffany Chanel. She's coming in with her Money Makeover Mondays. Yes. So we have to go to support my girl Tiffany Chanel. So if I can get a mod to go ahead and drop her link so that we can be ready to go over to her at 9 o'clock. Guys, can you believe I'm actually making it to 9 o'clock tonight? What? This was a good live. So, but yes, it's one other thing that I've got a couple of more slides to show you, but I wanted to go ahead and get that ready so Tiffany know we're coming over to raid her. We call it the Raider, so just say Eat to Live Strong Raider. But once it's all over, it's worth it when you get into your home and get settled and all of that's behind you. Hopefully, you would have a great outcome on your whether it's a refinance or a purchase. I hope it's all great, and you'll be able to relax because getting a loan is really a hard. It's tough. It really is. But if you have a good loan officer, it won't be so tough. You should be just fine. So that's why I offer this program on Monday, so that if people have any questions or if something just don't seem right, then you're more than welcome to call to instant message me through. I'm sorry, DM me through Instagram. Um, or if you want to come to my Facebook, it is Eat to Live Strong. I have a private group for that one. But that's good. Thank you so much, Living Better, for sending it. Change for $1. How you doing, my brother? How are you? Thank you for coming. So yes, if you we're not going to Tiffany's yet, but I just wanted to Nightbot is just is actually pulling you back change for $1. I'm sorry about that. I haven't set it up yet, so um Ms. Yo-Yo says, hey, change. Living Better with Style said, hello, change. Welcome to the live. Hey, y'all, make sure you thumbs me up, share me out, because if many people can look at this video, it makes me feel good that I'm actually giving you information that is helpful or that you all are mingling with the conversation. I love to hear people's experience. I hate to be I don't like to be the one that always tell you all the stuff that happened in the business, because I like to hear other things because it helps others. So with that being said, I'm waiting for this last slide. I'm going to do something totally different next go around because this slide is so slow. So slow. Thanks again, everybody. I appreciate y'all being out here with me. Did anybody have any questions? How do you guys feel about the presentation? You're very welcome, Bunny Rose. Make sure you hit me on my IG. Just DM me so that I can answer your questions. Oh, you haven't? You haven't this yo-yo? You want to buy one? You can. I can sell you one. Tiffany Chanel said, "Hey, love, change for $1." Y'all know my girl going live at 9 o'clock, so y'all make sure you hang in and check her out when y'all go over to her live. Make sure you please say that I rated her. I know, Miss Yo-Yo, LOL. That would mean that you'd have to move here. And you don't seem like the Southern girl. You know I have cousins up there where you are, Miss Yo-Yo. And I told you when I come up to visit them, I'll have to give you a yell so you can come chill. You can hang. Okay, so that's the fine. That once it's over, yes, you get your keys to your house and you good to go. It's worth it, guys. I'm telling you, it's worth it to be a homeowner. It's worth it. Used to be a good selling point was that you could get you can use your interest on your taxes every year, but the president pull that back from you. So your family is in Beham. So you're only that's only 2.5 hours from me. because I can get to Birmingham in 2.5 hours. I used to travel over there. I had a cousin that lived off of Robot Parkway in Beham, and she was from Anniston. So, but yeah, the federal government changed that rule, so now that's not a benefit for the customers. That they can put that. Hopefully, it'll come back, but they can file for their homestead exemption, so they'll be able to do their property taxes would be a little bit less. So we're going to talk about title and all that other good stuff too. Center point. Okay. Center point. Gotcha. So does anybody, this last slide is coming up, and when it comes up, I'm so happy that it'll come up. Because I think I'm going to go sit outside before it gets too dark. Probably not. The mosquitoes will probably eat me up now. Yes, please say eat to live strong raid. Because when I come in, I always say raider because I'm a raider. And not the team. Because I'm not the team, but I'll say raider. I call Raiders of the Lost Ark. But anyway, if anybody has any questions, that's what the last slide is. It's just that asking if you have any questions or answers or any concerns. What do you guys think about the Mortgage Monday live? Should I continue to do them? I'm going to put a survey out on my community tab. Make sure you guys come out to visit me on Wednesday for my Wellness Wednesday. That title was provided and offered to me by the lovely Tiffany Chanel. She suggested that title, and I'm thankful for that. I thank her very much for it. My Wellness Wednesdays, though, I'm no longer going to do Monday, Wednesday, Fridays. I'm going to do Monday, Wednesday because I want to be a content creator, and I'm going to go ahead and just do Monday, Wednesday. Wellness Wednesday is going to be the two healthy eating and physical fitness combined into one on Wednesday. So Mondays and Wednesdays. Monday is going to be my Mortgage Mondays, and then my Wednesdays are going to be my Wellness Wednesday. And then Friday, you're going to just catch me doing whatever I do. Fiesta Friday is going to be one of them. So I'll do Fiesta Fridays on Fridays, and then I'll do content throughout the week. So again, if you have no questions or concerns, we've got a couple of minutes before we go over to Tiffany Chanel's live. So I would appreciate you guys going over there with me. And just to make sure you know that Tiffany Chanel's Money Makeover Mondays, awesome. You get some great information from her. So please check her out. And we're at 8:58, so we're going to set Eastern time. So we'll give her another 2 minutes, and then we'll run over and rate her out. If you guys are going over to my girl, make sure that you stay in and give her at least 15 minutes or 20 minutes of your time. It is greatly appreciated, just like I appreciate you guys giving me the time. Please, please. And Living Better says, please keep doing all the lives. Yes, ma'am. I will definitely do it. I have so much to talk about for mortgages, so I definitely can help you that. And then with my physical fitness and my healthy eating, I have some great things. On Wednesday, guys, we're doing a special one. I've got some people that's coming up on the panel. We're going to talk about keto. We got a panelist for keto. We have a panelist for pescatarian. We got a panelist for vegan. We have one for vegetarian. And I am looking for somebody that wants to come up and talk about just eating the regular, your regular food that's not following any type of plan, no matter if it's a diet or if it's just, and I don't like the word diet, so I never use that. But if you just got some other type of plan that you're working on, I'd love to have you to come up on a panel. That's going to be Wednesday at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So I would love to see you guys out there for that. So with that being said, we got the link drop for Tiffany Chanel. It's 8:59. Thank you guys so very much for joining me today. I will be back again on Wednesday for Wellness Wednesday, but then on Monday, I will be doing the next episode of Mortgage Monday. And I appreciate you. Love you guys a long time. And let's see here.
It's 9 o'clock.
It's 9 o'clock. So we want to go ahead and make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Now, thank you so very much for coming. If we are not family, please go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe. Everyone have a blessed and safe and be blessed. Thank you so much, Miss Bonnie Rose. You do the same. God bless you guys. Love you long time. And I will see you over at Tiffany Chanel if you can. I appreciate it. Bye, guys.